So very recently, I actually moved into the kind of hands-on portion. Everything that you had seen before was sort of like these mini lessons that were just me lecturing and group work, trying to brainstorm ideas and gain some understanding. And we just moved into the more exciting parts of it. And so our learning target on Tuesday was, I can design an object using CAD software. I can identify the criteria and constraints of a project. Again, going back to those vocabulary words, making sure that I use those a lot and that they're getting used to it. So I went through an introduction of TinkerCAD, and I explained to the students about like the basic features of it, how to drag things onto the screen or onto the design plane, how to manipulate them. And then I wanted to make sure that right after they got that, they got some hands-on use. So their first challenge, this is like a practice challenge, I need a cube, but not just any ordinary cube. I need a cube with designs on all 6 sides. 3 of those sides must be negative space, and none of the designs can be taller than 5 millimeters. So after I had the students do that, I had them work with their groups to identify the criteria of this challenge and the constraints. So I just grabbed this one randomly. That failed 3D print is to cover their names of the students. And so this group, they identified that the criteria is a cube, and you have to have a design on each side. 3 sides have to be negative space. And so I view that the 3 sides, requiring 3 sides to be negative space, that's, to me, I don't know, it feels like a little bit more of a constraint than a criteria. The constraint being they all have to have designs, and then you're limited. Making the 3 of them be negative space, that limits your design options. So you could not do like create a dice or a die that has bumps on it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You would have to alter your design. So I view that as a constraint. It is a limitation. It prevents you from having total freedom in your design. I accurately identified that the designs not being taller than 5 millimeters is also a constraint for this challenge. So they did an all right job. You could make the argument, I think, that the negative space is a criteria. The point of that is not necessarily to get 100% on it, but to prepare for identifying these things in a real life scenario. They're going to be working with adult staff members of the school. They're going to have to interact with them and interview them and learn about the problem. Their client is not going to know, is not going to tell them what the criteria and the constraints are, so they have to identify them on their own. And so through these mini design challenges, it will prepare them for identifying those things in their real life scenario. A lot of the students got pretty far in this, and we're going to be doing this exercise again. This time, they're going to be designing something that will be printed out. I like to give them the opportunity to design something and have it printed, so they can have a little keepsake sooner rather than later. So the next design challenge, or mini design challenge, is that I am in need of a keychain. My keychain needs to fit in my pocket, and it also needs to hook onto my key ring. I want my keychain to have enough room for my name. Can you help me? Again, they're going to go through with those little half sheets of paper, identifying the criteria and constraints. And after they create their design, which this one does allow, I think, a little bit more freedom, and they'll put my name on it, I will then have students replace my name with their name, and then I can spend the weekend printing out 30 keychains for all of these darlings. All right, so that is the basic outline of my first 2 or 3 lessons. A lot of times my like science gets cut back way too much, and it kind of gets stuck in wherever I can fit it. But I'm going to teach science again today, and I'm going to be bringing in the mentors, the 8th grade mentors that'll help guide the 3rd graders through the engineering and design process. So I'll do another video to update that. And hopefully now that I have this rolling, I'll have some more regular videos. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and like it. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I would love that. Anyway, toodaloo.